I missed you.
Missed you too.
Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
응답하라 여친. Go to the into the she.
Back to the kyung to the Jew. Oh, I mean, look at us. Again, we never ever coordinate our outfits.
Right.
But we are both
Mm-hmm.
in shirt dresses.
Yes. Felt like a shirt dress kind of day.
Yeah.
Transitioning from spring to summer.
You're in the denimish blue,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm in the what kind of pink is
A
this?
mauve pink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I love it.
I love you.
I love you
love
too.
you. I think we just went 1 week without, and I'm already like, I need to see Jane.
Mm-hmm.
I need to tell her everything.
Yeah, I think it's been at least a couple of weeks since we've seen each other.
Yeah.
And we have a lot to catch up on. You have some life updates.
Yeah. So, I saw. This will be the last time I call her this, but I saw my stepmom
Okay.
after 9 years of no contact.
Zero contact. 9 years. That's
Yeah.
like Sawyer's entire life.
Yeah. Because
Has she ever met Sawyer?
she saw him when he was a week old.
Oh my gosh.
And then that's it.
Wow.
And so he was like he's like a whole little person now.
Yes.
And so she, yeah.
Okay. That is, that's a lot to process.
And this happened because, well, I have seen my dad in those 9 years probably like 3 times total.
Okay.
In between.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I said, the door's open for you if you want to see us. And he said, I want to see you. But this came on about because my brother texted me, and I showed you the text, which was, hey, crazy, mom is out loud saying how much she misses you and wants to see you.
And in the 9 years, you never heard anything like that from your brother?
No. And this literally happened a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
The first time and it was crazy to him.
Yeah.
And it was crazy to me.
Yeah.
I was shocked when I heard that.
Yeah.
Because she has openly always said, like, I will never see you over my dead body. Like, she's always, she's a narcissist. And I don't say that lightly. Like, people throw the term around narcissist, but she has openly said, I will never say I'm wrong, even if I know I'm wrong. Like, that's what she said out loud. So for her to acknowledge that I even exist, and then to actually go further to say, like, she missed me, it was just not something I ever imagined, and clearly not something my brother imagined as well. And so he's like, listen, if you're down to seeing her, I think we can make this happen. What are your thoughts? Blah, blah, blah.
So he knows he's pretty much on the same page in terms of understanding why you went no contact.
Yeah, he supported.
Yeah.
Fully no contact. But I think through this, so initially when I responded, he was sending like a longest text message that he's ever sent me. He's usually like a one-word guy. So I called him up and I said, listen, I get so the joke that I had for this, of course I had to make a joke about it because I said
you had a comedy show too.
Yeah. After I found out about this, I said, dementia? And he said, 100%.
Oh, really?
Well, I mean, I think not maybe senile.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I think she's recognizing she's older.
Yeah.
I think that has a lot to do with it.
She's mortal.
Yeah.
She's gonna,
and he's like, yeah, absolutely it has. with the fact that she's getting
How
older.
old is she?
She has to be like 73-ish.
Okay.
Um, and she's not been in the greatest health, I
Mhm.
suppose, all her life.
Mhm.
But so yeah, I called him up and I was like, listen, shocking, crazy, yes, but you have always supported
Mhm.
me going no contact
Yeah.
with her. So I was actually surprised he told me. Like, why would you want this? Why would you think this is a good
Right.
idea?
Did he feel like he was kind of obligated to let you know and to try to facilitate some sort of meetup?
Well, so then we also laughed at this part where he was like, well, I've always wanted to have you over for
Mhm.
dinner at our house,
Mhm.
but I live with mom. And so,
Okay. So you
just to
didn't
make
really,
sure,
yeah.
that so he is a man that's married with a child.
Yep.
My mom, or his mom, and our dad live with him
Mhm.
because he takes care of them, right?
Uh-huh.
So I don't want it to be like, like he lives with them. He's
Sure.
taken them on.
Yes, yes.
And
He supports them
yeah, and
and
in
yeah.
Korean culture, that's like respectful thing to do.
Yes, for the son to take in the parents.
Yeah. So he's like, well, I've always wanted to have you over to our house. You've
Mhm.
never been.
Mhm.
And I always thought it'd be nice for us to all have dinner together.
Yeah.
But I've just been thinking that in order for that to happen, I've just been waiting for them to die.
I see.
He said that, and then we
Yeah.
both were like, ha 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 ha, ha, because it's
Yeah.
like crazy to think like that, right?
Sure.
But then he was like, well, once she's been just repeatedly saying that. I
Mhm.
thought, well, maybe is it possible for us to
Yeah.
all have dinner at?
Right. It opened up kind of like that question
Yeah,
of what
like
if.
if she means what she says
Right.
and da da da. But I tell you, Jane, when I thought about having to see her again, it was not good news.
No, I know.
It was horrifying.
Yeah.
Like the blood like left my
Yep.
body. And it's like that thing that gets put on you, like I start to get super anxious.
Yes.
And it took me a day to respond to him, and I said,
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
I Mom and me are like
Mhm.
water and oil. We should
Mhm.
not mix.
Yep.
And I really thought that you supported that.
Yeah.
And I know that you do. I mean, he said it was my decision. He's
Sure.
like, I'm just putting it out there. You
Yeah.
don't have to.
He
You
did
can
his
do what you want.
part.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you were at peace with that decision, after we chatted. And when you said you
Yes.
responded to him and said, I'm good, and you seemed at peace.
I
But
was.
then there were other developments.
It worked. Like it rattled me up.
Yeah.
I took a day with it. Once I sent the response no,
Yeah.
I felt like, okay,
Yep.
I got myself back to and I hate all of this, like the
Mhm.
frenzy, the
Of course.
turmoil, the chaos.
Yeah.
I'm on edge. And then once I made the decision, no, this is a no for me, hard
Mhm.
pass. I thought I'm back to grounding
Yep.
myself. Then my dad texted me,
Uh-huh.
Mom's been talking up about you, wanting to
Mm.
see you. She misses you. And I called him up
Mhm.
and I was like, okay, so I heard this from Eric, my brother,
Mhm.
already. But do you think that this is fair
Mhm.
to me?
Mhm.
9 years,
Mhm.
this woman, and I want to be clear, she cut me off.
Yeah.
I think the way I make it sound when someone says no contact, I think the assumption is that I went no contact.
Yeah.
But she threw me out for
Yeah.
the millionth time.
Yeah.
And I said I
She
accept.
basically disowned you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've been disowned and thrown out physically, literally, in every sense of the
Mhm.
word so many times by this woman. And so I said, I'm supposed to just say okay and roll over,
Mhm.
Dad?
Uh-huh.
And he was like, I know, but if you really just can't, like, and he plays the pity card.
Yes, of course. And it makes you the bad person when he appeals to you like that.
Yeah.
When he
You
refuses,
feel
he kind of like
horrible.
plays dumb,
Yeah.
like he's like the innocent party
Yeah.
here.
He's always
You
the
know?
victim. And
Yeah.
he's like, 아니, 뭐, 그렇게 우리 못 보겠으면, if you really can't find it in your heart to see us,
Yeah.
그렇게 우리 못 보겠으면, 우리, 늙어가는데, we're getting old, and you're young, 젊은이들이 좀, if the young ones can't,
understand,
show some grace.
It's always that. I'm sorry. I've had those conversations too. And it's always like, since you're the bigger person or
Since you're young, you
yeah,
have to be the bigger
you have
person.
to understand us.
It just and it works.
It works, yeah.
The guilt trip that pulls me right back in. And I said, and then the added factor was that there was an uncle from Korea in town. He's like, and there's also an uncle from Korea, and he specifically asked to see you because the last time he was here, he didn't get to see you. He I could tell he sensed there was some drama in our family.
Yeah.
But this time he directly said, I really want to see.
So, I mean, I feel like that was the catalyst, and they want to show face that we're all good.
Yes.
Right? And it is a way for your dad to show his brother, like, his family.
Yes. And this is the uncle that I have no bad. He's in Korea. I have no bad issues with him. He's the one that put me on the plane to come to America. And I do recall him being nice enough. And his daughter I played with her, and she was younger than me. So he's like, he specifically asked for you and wanted to see you after, because the last time he saw you was when he put you on the plane.
Yeah. Wow. So he hasn't seen you in that many years. Okay.
So that also added to it. Because honestly, I have nothing against this man, and I think I do believe out of all such a low bar, but he was a decent man.
Yeah.
So I said, fine. Okay. And then I initially thought it was a 3-day weekend. And if I'm like, so where do you think that we'll see each other? He's like, maybe just like a hamburger place. Like, sit out in public in a hamburger place, like
Burger Master.
Like, what the fuck are we talking about, right? So then I'm like, you know what? Jane, you know me. I'm either all in or out.
Yeah,
like, I don't do in betweens. So I thought, well, if I'm gonna do this,
I'm gonna do it right.
I'm gonna do it right. So I was like, okay. If at the time the weather was supposed to be nice, so I was like, maybe I can invite them to our backyard.
Wow.
Have an outdoor thing.
Yeah.
And he was like, that would of course be amazing. That's what he said.
That's what he was wanting, but scared to bring up.
Yeah. And he's like, I didn't have how could I bring that up to you? But if you offer, that's so nice of you. Da, da, da. Told Adonis. He was like,
thank God for Adonis. He's gonna bring you right back to reality.
He was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
In our own home?
Yeah.
And I was really thinking outdoors though. Like,
right, but you can't control that.
I know. Well then the weather said it's gonna fucking rain.
Yeah, the universe was there protecting you.
Rain.
Yeah.
Inside is gonna be close. And I was like, no, I can't do that.
Yeah.
So then I texted my brother and I was like, the weather is no good.
Mhm.
There's no way I can sit
Yeah.
inside the house.
Yeah.
And
With
thank
them.
God.
Mhm.
Thank God. I don't
God.
know what I was thinking.
Yep.
I said, let's meet out.
Yeah.
He said, that's fine.
Okay.
So we get Jiangnan, the new like
The
restaurant in
설렁탕 place? No.
the like the Michelin recommended place. I told you
Oh.
about that
Uh-huh.
in the Bravern.
Oh,
That came from
okay.
New
Oh,
York,
that's the
right?
Chinese
It has the
restaurant.
best
Yes.
Peking duck.
Okay.
I mean, that is truly a Peking duck that I
yeah.
enjoy because you know why? I just know they're gonna wanna
Sure. They want to
want it to
show
be
up.
nice.
Of course.
And
They
then
don't want a
Adonis is
burger
like, I
place.
don't understand why you are accommodating them.
Right. And who
Why
is
are you making
paying
the
for it? Is it
reservation?
you and Eric splitting?
No. I knew going into it I would pay for it.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then Adonis is like, who's paying for
Yeah.
this? Okay, so you would have asked too.
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't seen them in 9 years, right?
Mm-hmm. They're putting this on you, and then you're making the plans. Like the burden's
I
on
know.
you.
And Adonis
to-
is so irate. He's
Yeah.
like, why?
I
They're,
would have
you know,
been
they're
too. I would
reaching
have been
out,
too.
right?
Yeah.
Why are you making the
Yeah.
plans? Why are you
Yeah.
saying we're paying? Okay, but Jane, also,
No,
I'm
I
a daughter
understand.
that haven't seen them in 9 years.
Yes.
We're going out to dinner with still,
Mm-hmm.
they're my parents.
Mm-hmm. I absolutely cannot blame you, and
Yeah.
I absolutely understand where
Yeah,
Adonis
you
is
see
coming
yeah,
from.
you
Yeah, it's a rock and a
Right.
hard place.
I'm not gonna be and I do feel mostly indebted to my brother.
Yes, he doesn't deserve
Yeah.
to be in that spot either. And let's
And
say,
he
like, if
lives
you're
with
going to
them.
show up, you're not with your history. You're not going to do. You're going to try to be as blameless as possible.
Right.
Like, you're not going to be open yourself up to criticism
Exactly.
by
And that's
suggesting some dinky place.
Right.
Right. No.
Because I won't hear the end of
No.
it, right? So if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it right.
Yep.
Everything
Mhm.
as you know this, everything
Totally
is
know it.
flawlessly
Yep.
on my end.
Mm-hmm.
That there's nothing that can be said that I didn't do.
Yeah.
But Adonis was irritated and
But he was willing to be there and be next to you.
every fiber of him said, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
I could tell. It was very
Yeah.
visibly, and I was like,
Well, because
"Can
he
you
has to deal
just-"
with the fallout of
Yeah.
it, right?
Yeah. And I said, can you just support me?
Yeah.
And he was like, of course.
Yeah.
Whatever you
Okay.
need, I will do it. But you could just, oh my God, on our drive over there, I've
Yeah.
never seen this man so tense.
Oh, I'm so
His
sorry.
jaw was
Yeah.
so locked tight. And
yeah.
and I try to be like, okay. He's like, babe. And he said this thing to me that was like, this is also happening to me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I know.
Yeah.
I know. And so we go. And we are there first. And I'm waiting. And I'm just. And my brother has told me, I told her to be on her best behavior. Don't fuck this up.
Your brother told her that.
Told her that,
Okay.
supposedly, right? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm wondering like what
he
language he
means.
used,
Yeah, like,
what
"어머,
tone.
제발 좀."
제발 좀 적당히 해.
Yeah, that's
적당한-
probably
yeah.
exactly it.
Uh-huh.
So they arrive. I see her. We kind of like line up because now there's like a total of 10 people, right?
Yeah. So it's his family, your uncle, and your
Yeah.
parents.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
How many kids does he have?
just one.
Okay.
And his wife is pregnant.
Oh,
with,
okay. And
so it's like there are 3.
yeah.
Mom and dad,
Mhm.
the uncle, us 4.
Yeah.
So there's like a
10.
full
Yeah.
10.
Yeah.
So we're kind of like awkwardly
Mhm.
going around and like doing greetings. And I finally come to her and I'm like, and then she leans in and she like hugs me. And it's not,
Okay.
it's very like this awkward kind of embrace.
Mm-hmm.
And she whispers in my ear, 나쁜 년.
Okay, 나쁜 년 means
Like bad girl.
You girl, you
or
bitch.
You bitch. 나쁜 년.
which it can be said like in a loving
Yes, it can be
jesting
like
kind of
bitch, right?
way.
Yeah,
Yeah, like 이 나쁜 년, you know,
yeah.
like 엄마 안 보고 like, you know.
That's so she said 나쁜 년. 나 보고 싶지 않았냐?
But you know that it was said with a little dig.
Right?
Because she wanted, it was her
나쁜
opportunity to
년.
get that
You
in.
didn't miss me.
Yeah.
That's like
No,
your
you
little
didn't.
you
You didn't miss her.
and all the hair in my body just rose up
Oh,
and
I'm
I
so
froze,
sorry.
Jane. I froze.
Oh
like
my
my body
Yeah.
just locked.
Yeah. I
And
can
I
just
felt
imagine what your face looked like.
I felt so stiff. I said nothing.
Yeah.
And then we just stepped away and got into our seats. And then
Mm.
I sat in the farthest
Uh-huh.
away from her, and she sat on the opposite end, farthest away from
Okay.
me.
So you're across the table on
Yeah.
different ends. Okay.
In a long line.
Yeah, with all the buffer.
I just
in between.
order like
Yeah,
everything off the
good.
fucking menu.
Okay.
I order a fucking feast.
You got the Peking duck.
Two Peking ducks.
Oh my god. Do they like Chinese food?
They were like Chinese. I'm like, okay. We were actually gonna go to Foga,
Fogo de Chao.
yeah.
Yeah.
but they were packed.
Uh-huh.
And
yeah.
I was like, I can't be in that
I know,
anyway
I
if they're
know.
packed.
Yeah.
It's like a
true.
buffet.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, maybe it's better there because of the distraction. But then they were packed. They're like, we can't get you in.
Yeah.
So and this place, I was like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna like the scenery.
Yeah.
So we got through it. I ordered just Jane. It was over $500.
Damn.
Cause you imagine, right? Like food for 10 people
Yeah.
at the Michelin rated supported place, whatever. And then tip
Yeah.
on top of that. Anyways. And you know what? I always knew going in I was gonna pay for this.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah.
I looked at it as more as like, this is gonna be gratitude towards my brother for
Mhm.
watching over them.
Yeah.
I want them to be well with
course.
him.
Yeah.
I really want them to be happy in their
Yeah.
old age and whatever good. I want them to be good. I just don't want it to be like I just need her to be away from
Yeah.
me.
Mm-hmm.
But I have forgiven them.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't be around them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's
Totally
like
fair.
people always think forgiveness means that you have to reconnect. You do not.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if there's enough damage done,
Mm-hmm.
I can't. And I didn't even know this. I always feel guilty that I can't be around her anymore.
Yeah.
But like this,
Of course you do, because the guilt will always be there.
yeah,
I don't think we'll ever shed that guilt because it is what you're doing. The idea that you're at peace with is so antithetical to our culture
yeah,
of like you have to just exist with the toxicity.
yeah. And I decided I will bear that shame.
Yeah.
I will wear my scarlet
Yeah.
letter.
It's not your problem. You know,
Yeah.
it's not, it's a reflection on them.
But to be like 9 years and you have your son telling you don't fuck this up
Mm-hmm.
and you choose to say, you bitch.
Yeah. I was scrolling social media. I came upon this quote that was like, my life has gotten so much easier once I decided to look at every grown up as an 8-year-old in an adult body. And you just cannot expect emotional maturity
Yeah.
from the grown-ups around you.
You know, she could have just said, 잘 있었니?
Yeah.
Like, have you been well?
It's so telling. It's so telling, I think, of where like
And-
there has been no growth
Yeah.
in the 9 years
And
for her,
she-
or no self-reflection.
Yeah. And she does this because she
Mhm.
wants to make sure she always has to put me in
Yes,
place.
she has to have
It's
you
a
under her
power
heel.
move,
It is
yeah.
a power move. I'm so sorry. So how long was the dinner?
Probably like hour or 15. And
And
it's so funny. We just
excruciating.
sit there,
Yeah.
we eat.
And-
There's
okay.
nothing being
No
talked
chatting.
about. Just like,
What
even
about your
the uncle
uncle?
from Korea is
Yeah.
like, oh, just looks at my
Oh, no.
face like,
Yeah.
wow. And then that's it. I'm like, and then they would ask about the kids
Yeah.
and they would look over
Mhm.
and I could see, you know, there is awe in their eyes for them.
Yeah.
Like, wow, because they remember Gavin
Mhm.
since he was a toddler,
Mhm.
and they're like, wow, he's grown.
Yeah.
And then Sawyer, she doesn't even know him.
And have they ever seen pictures like from your brother or
I don't know.
yeah.
So, yeah. And then we just get up.
Mhm.
We're like, do the awkward hug
Yeah.
thing again. And then this time she says, 그래. 좀 더 자주 보자. Like, let's see each other more often.
Okay. And did
And
you
I say
respond?
nothing.
You said nothing.
And we just all go our separate ways. I
Okay.
say, I say,
Yeah.
안녕히 가세요.
Yeah, yeah.
몸 건강하세요. Like,
Mhm.
and I meant that, like, be
Mhm.
healthy, be well.
Mhm.
And then we all go our separate ways.
Yeah.
Mostly, like, my brother was in the middle. I was sort of in the middle, and we
Yeah.
talked to that family. We go our separate ways. And
Yeah.
the first thing Adonis says to me is like, nothing's changed.
Yeah. Mhm.
Not a single thing has changed.
Mhm.
We're right back to where we
Mhm.
were 9 years ago. And I'm like, I know. Like, why do we sit around and do this?
They don't have. I mean, this is not just about your parents,
Yeah.
but Koreans of that generation. It's very hard for there to be change and self-reflection because
Right.
it's not part of their um it's just not part of their practice. Like
Like,
they have their truth and they hold on to it
Yeah.
and just go deeper and deeper and deeper. I think those years of no contact have just solidified their version of the truth.
Yeah.
And I've seen it with my grandpa and
Yes.
his sons. Like it's there's no like outside reflecting. Like
Right.
it's they're just like more and more in
It's just their own, little
yeah,
chamber, right? And
yes.
they, not only that, them in particular, they do not have friends. They don't have
Yeah.
outside
That's very telling too.
influences.
Yeah. Well, if you isolate yourself
Yeah,
and
they're
you
so
Mhm.
isolated. And then, and the thing also before God getting there, the way that my dad kept pushing it was too, he was like, she's saying like she's sorry. She's saying, oh, we were so poor and our lives were so hard. I was hard on her because our lives were so hard. No, you didn't. Your life can be hard.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Adonis always like, my parents were poor too.
Yeah.
But they didn't, you know,
Mhm.
beat the shit out of you. Made do with what you can. But it was her.
Yeah.
And that irritated me too, because it's like, you still don't know what you did wrong.
Yeah.
Like, you keep blaming. You had a choice.
Yeah.
You keep blaming your hard life. It wasn't your hard life that made you hate me,
Mhm.
because you didn't hate your son.
Mhm.
You hated me specifically.
Yes.
And it's still like your own trauma,
Yeah.
your own projections,
Yes.
your own illegitimacy from your own stepmom
Mhm.
that you passed down on to
Right,
me.
right. She also did not have like a mother's love.
Yeah.
And it totally was a projection
Yeah.
onto you. Like she didn't receive it, she didn't know how to give it, but that
Right.
does not um make her blameless.
Right.
And the fact that she won't take any accountability for what part she played in having
Yeah.
this relationship disintegrate like the way it has.
The part that was really eye-opening was that Adonis and I were watching TV the other day, and he just started talking to me about, I don't really push the subject with him, because he's like, where do we go from here now?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I told him what she whispered to me, and he was shaking his head.
Yeah.
Are we going to do this again?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think not.
Yeah.
And he goes, okay, good, because we need to be done.
Yeah.
And then he said, I mean, I think because I was still feeling guilty, he said this thing that was so, like, I know he doesn't want to be there. I know he doesn't want this.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was the one that was asking me, like, what would you have done? And you know what he said? Oh my God, it was kind of crazy. He's like, you know what I worried about? I worried that she would apologize to you.
Mm.
And I said, really?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you worry about that? And he goes, because you would be pulled right back in.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay, so you knew going in you didn't want any part of
Yeah.
this. He's like, no.
Yeah.
And he's, and this part is hard. He said, I didn't want to tell you this, but I think I should. I don't like seeing them happy.
Mm-hmm.
I, I saw them happy as they looked over at our children, and I didn't like it.
Mm.
And I know why he said that. Because in those 9 years, in between those 9 years, we lost his father.
Mm-hmm.
And at the hospital bed, as he was, because he had lung cancer and he knew he was on his last day, our children were on his lap on the bed.
Yeah.
And he was holding on to them tight. And he looked over at us and he said, I just wish I could see them grow up.
Yeah.
And yes, Adonis has told me before, to hear that from my father, and then to have your parents who chose not to see their own grandkids for 9 years,
Mm-hmm.
that is a slap to my face.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They don't deserve it.
Yeah.
And that I thank my husband, because I think he was washing me away of my guilt
Yeah. Yeah.
and said, you got to protect me now.
Yeah.
And I said, yes.
Mm-hmm. I have so much respect for Adonis and for your partnership, because he is that person that you need
Yeah.
to remind you, hey, this is us right now.
Yeah.
And, I'm so glad that he let you do what you felt was
Yes.
necessary.
Yeah.
And he let you kind of see that through.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, I thought that was just such a great way to debrief.
Yeah.
And I love his honesty in expressing, his choosing not to tell you that before you went into
Yeah.
the meeting, but afterwards, right?
Yeah. And
Because I think he genuinely wanted to support. He didn't want to do it, but he genuinely
Yeah.
wanted to support you through it. And that was so honest of him to say, my worry was that you would get sucked back in
Yeah.
if they say, if she apologizes. Because that's where I would be too, is like totally like red flag
Yeah.
if they apologize. But you're somebody that, you have so much love. Like you are pushed to this point where you realize it's not good for you to continue having contact.
Yeah.
And you would be very quick to, I think, accept an apology if you felt that was sincere.
I have. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have in other relationships, as soon as someone genuinely apologizes,
Yeah.
I forget
Yeah.
all the wrong and I say,
Which is such a good quality that you have. It truly is.
I can't believe, well, and it was such a honest,
Mhm.
like, if you think about it, right? It's sort of an ugly truth.
Mhm.
And he said, I hate that I feel this way.
Yeah.
I don't want to feel this way,
No.
but this is actually how I feel.
Yeah.
And I saw, they were like stealing glances
Mhm.
over at the children, and I could And I was torn. I was like, how do I don't want to stand in the way of grandparents.
Yeah.
And someone actually asked me, like, what if your kids say they want to see the grandparents?
Yeah.
Like, as they get older. I said, that's fine.
It has to be their decision.
Yeah.
Like
And
it,
if they
yeah.
want to, I would never stand in the way of that.
Yeah. And I don't believe you would.
I genuinely would not.
No.
And this is, I think, really what's hard for people to understand if they haven't been in these shoes. The idea that you can forgive someone and not, like, I totally 100% want them to live a healthy life and
Mhm.
happy memories with their son and their son's sons.
Mhm.
The way this woman makes me feel,
Yeah.
the way she can only be satisfied if I make myself small
Yeah.
and make myself like so beneath
Mhm.
her. I can't do that anymore.
No, you can't. I think what you're doing and what you realized is you can't control other people,
Yeah.
and this is the only way, or this is the best way that you felt that you can accept them for who they always will be,
Yeah.
and then also love and protect yourself.
Yeah. And it's
It-
acceptance, and I send you love from afar.
Yeah.
It just can't be, because it such a violation
Mhm.
to me. And but I am glad this happened,
Yeah.
because it gave me, like, I always think, like, if I can just hold it together, if I can just,
Mhm.
I think even me, I believe true forgiveness means that I should be able to withstand them.
Yeah.
But being around her, you know what I really realized, and this is what I meant by I will no longer call her my stepmom or mother. When she hugged me, I realized you were never a mother to me. You were my
Uh-huh.
abuser.
Uh-huh.
And it, like, clicked.
Yeah.
Like, just the touch from her.
Yeah.
And I keep seeing her face.
Uh-huh.
After I hadn't thought about her face in a long time.
Mhm.
And I'm having nightmares again. And I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I don't deserve this.
No.
And my family doesn't deserve me being this way,
Yep.
because I'm on edge. I felt like after that, like, we had gotten rear ended and my body is achy all over.
Yeah.
Like, my whole
Oh my God.
being repels her.
Did you have that meeting and then, like, before or after your comedy show?
I had the comedy show before.
Okay.
And I joked that I actually talked about,
Yeah.
how I bring my, like, real life into it.
Sure.
And I said, yeah, I been trying to not see this woman,
Mhm.
but fuck my life, I'm gonna see her tomorrow. Yay me. But yeah, now it's really done.
Yeah.
I can't. They gave my children money, and of course, children, they're gonna be excited that they got money. But
Have the boys asked you questions, like, after the dinner? Like,
no.
okay. So no
And then
curiosity or
and then Adonis told me this after the fact, and it's really interesting because, yeah, like you said, he had all these thoughts,
Mhm.
but he held back
Mhm.
for me to do what I needed to do.
Yep.
And I'm very thankful because, he doesn't open up until I pull things out of him.
Sure.
This was like one of those rare occasions where he just started talking
Mhm.
and he just let it out.
Mhm.
And he cried when he told me, like, I hate
Mm.
that I feel this way, but I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
And I thought that was so beautifully honest,
Mhm.
because Jane, my husband is a very loving man.
Mhm.
For him to be pushed to say that, like, wow, how poisonous
Yeah.
their
I
presence is.
Yeah, and I hope you really um took that as permission to just let go of all that guilt.
Yeah.
That's the validation. That's all the validation you need,
Yeah.
that they did not give you the love that you deserved as a
Yeah.
child, and you're choosing not to contact them further and just accepting the way things are is no reason for you to feel
Well,
guilty, like you're not doing your part.
and that's the thing that really where Adonis came in and shifted my thinking. He
Mm-hmm.
goes, I know you have all this deeply rooted childhood trauma
Yeah.
from them, but what I need you to also think about is they've also now known us longer as together. Like our
Mm-hmm.
existence together
Mm-hmm.
has been longer than the trauma that you endured from them when you were a child.
Mm-hmm.
And this has been, it didn't stop then,
Yeah.
and it's been happening to us,
Yeah.
and we've been going through it.
Yeah.
Like it never stopped,
No.
and it's been continuing, and it's affected our lives so deeply.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just happening to you,
Yeah.
it's happening to us.
Yeah.
And it's going to be, and then this is where that generational cycle thing, my stepmom, or that woman, she was the second wife to my father.
Mm-hmm.
Her stepmom was the third, but her own mother was the second wife
Okay.
of her father.
Uh-huh.
And the way that she became who she is was she continuously tried to get approval from her stepmom.
Mm-hmm.
And every time we would go to the stepmom, grandma, we knew her as grandma, she would come back livid.
Mm-hmm.
The digs, she would talk about the digs.
Yeah.
Like if she were me, she'd be like, she said 나쁜 년 to me. Like that'd be
Yeah.
the same thing.
Totally.
That's like, and the children not being of your blood child versus not my blood child.
I cannot imagine like her own burden and her own trauma and resentment not getting love from both sides. I'm not saying that in any way to excuse her, right? Because that's her burden,
Yeah.
that's her trauma, and she should not project that to another person. But I can totally see how that
And that's why,
shaped who
yeah.
she is
And
today.
that's why there's a big part of me that feels sorry
Of
for her.
course,
And
yeah.
why I've been able to forgive her. Because
Absolutely.
I know
Yeah.
what this did to you, but I don't want
Yes.
that to happen to me.
Yeah.
So I wrote my dad
Mm.
a text
Okay.
after I talked to Donis and like, I think we're done here.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do this anymore.
Yeah.
I wrote, 아빠,
Mm-hmm.
이 만남으로 만족하세요.
Mm-hmm.
Please find closure with this.
Mm-hmm.
저 엄마랑 다시 또 보고 싶지 않아요. I don't want to see her anymore.
Yeah.
My stepmom. 애들이랑 테니스 치고 싶으시면 따로 만나요. If
Uh-huh.
you want, he kept talking about how he wants to play tennis with the kids.
Yeah.
I said, do that
Yeah.
with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
엄마는 나한테 악몽이에요.
Mm-hmm.
Stepmom is my nightmare. 엄마 눈치 보면서 만나야 하는 두려움 가지고 살고 싶지 않아요. Like I don't want to be dreading how I have to see her next time, or how I have to make myself small to be tolerated by her. 아빠랑 엄마 둘이 행복하고 건강하세요.
Mm-hmm.
I want you both to be happy and healthy. 난 엄마처럼 할머니 만나면서 내 남편이랑 애들한테 화내고 고통 주면서 살고 싶지 않아요. I don't want to be like her in that. I don't want to keep trying to get the approval of my stepmom and coming back home angry and throwing around pain and suffering to my family, to my kids, to my husband. 이 아픔 나로 끝나야죠.
Mm.
This pain should end with me.
Mm.
And then he wrote, 알았다. Got it.
Yeah, got it. 알았다.
But
Well, you said it in words. Yeah. I'm so proud of you.
And then my husband said, and this is where I'm like, oh my God, I'm so gaslit. He's like, you've told them no in the past. And they just keep.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, I don't know how long this will last, but I need you to stick with it.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, as long as he's around, he's going to keep reminding you. Yeah.
I feel my brother also, I wrote to him. He also did not respond. But with some time, I am disappointed with him as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think he thought, just like my dad, if she accepts me, that somehow it's going to be all better. And it's like, I never needed her acceptance.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what this was about.
No.
So for him to feel like, he tells me, like, you don't have to do anything. You can just be yourself. You do not know what that means.
Yeah, you don't know what you're saying.
You haven't know. That just goes to tell me you have no idea what this woman
No.
did to me.
No. And I guarantee you, they have no idea. They have no idea. I mean, your brother lives with them. Your dad has lived with her for all these decades.
Yeah.
There's
I think that's the difference. Like, why am I not able to do that thing? Well, I think they both fundamentally can say to themselves deeply, even though as crazy as she is, that she loves them.
Yeah, your dad received what he needed from your mom, which was like spousal love, filling in that place. Your brother grew up with two parents who loved him as their own.
Yeah.
You're fundamentally different. And so I don't think they will ever understand fully.
Yeah.
And I think to some extent you just have to accept that they're always going to see this as your unwillingness.
Yes.
Because they take your mom, the stepmom's,
Side.
desire, and they sympathize with her. They take her at face value when she says she misses you.
Yeah.
So this is always going to. You just have to like accept and let go of the fact that
And
to
I
them
accept
in
it.
their to them this is always going to be like you turning your back and saying like no, I don't need it.
And they can
and you
feel
accept
that
it,
way.
because they don't understand and they don't need to.
Yeah.
Like and
They
Adonis
will never
knows.
know.
No.
And that's the thing, right? Like, they keep thinking of themselves in my shoe as them.
Yes.
You're not truly thinking about what it's
No.
been. You can't.
No.
Well, I feel like I could. I can see from theirs.
Yeah.
But they have no idea.
No, they have no idea.
So I can be the bad daughter. I'm willing to be the bad daughter. I'd rather be a bad daughter to them, a bad sister to him, but I will not be a bad wife.
But see your language, like you're not I don't want you to accept that because you're not a bad daughter and you're not a bad sister.
I think in their eyes I am. And that's
that does not. Yeah.
Like, I can't control how they see me. And that's okay. Like, I'm willing to live with that. I know that's their perception and they're entitled to that.
That's their perception. So I think it's super important to just remind yourself of that. That's a perception and that has nothing to do with you and that should not hold any grip on you.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like, people all live their own lives with their perception of what they perceive to be reality.
Yeah.
And I recognize how they see me. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'd rather be a failure in their eyes than to let down my husband or my children.
There you go.
And so this is, what we always talk about. You can't have it all,
Mm-mm.
but you got to prioritize what's important.
Mm-hmm.
And I have what's important
Yeah.
in my family now.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I'm so proud of you, even
Mm.
though that was very painful to get there. And I'm just like kudos to Adonis. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
you
actually,
guys
Jane,
will be okay.
this will be an amazing year because I'm
Yeah.
going to go to Thailand in November.
Yes.
And for anybody that would like to go with me, trovatrip.com.
Mm-hmm.
Put my name in Ellen Aquario. We'll also have the link up. But I think, going to Thailand this year, and first place I've never been,
Mm-hmm.
and rediscovering a new place full of life
Mm-hmm.
without this baggage
Mm-hmm.
will be a celebration. So I'm plugging it now.
Yeah.
I'll be outright. You can
Yeah.
come on a trip with me, and
Mm-hmm.
if you have a soul to heal and to and it's time for fun, come
Yeah.
away with me.
Sounds wonderful.